Hey YouTube, what's up? Welcome back. This is Miss Ashley Nicole, and welcome back to another live. Good evening. I was gonna come to you all this afternoon, but girl, y'all just don't understand how busy, how busy I am, how busy I get. I have good intentions, y'all, but I had to come on here and talk tonight because um our good sis Terica. Y'all already know how I feel about Terica because in my previous lives and videos regarding Andre Montgomery and what happened to him and Sweetie Pies, y'all already know my feelings about Terica, right? Like, I just don't understand how she got herself in this situation. But tonight we're going to get into it a little bit. First off, I hope everyone is doing well. I hope your week is going well. I hope that whatever goals that you have set out for the week, that you are on your way to accomplishing those goals. And yeah, so we're going to get into it now. I do have some notes because I wanted to make sure that I had, all of the information about the sentencing and all this stuff. So we know Miss Terica, right? Terica Ellis. And this live is based on my opinion only. I am just reacting to the sentencing of Terica Ellis from the um, M for Hire of Andre Montgomery, which was he was a star on the Welcome to Sweetie Pie show. His uncle is Tim Norman. Of course, Tim Norman already had his trial, and so I wanted to follow this story because from the beginning, not really from the beginning, but starting from when the trial kind of started, I started reacting and just kind of giving my opinion on the story because I am from St. Louis. And St. Louis is near and dear to my heart. And like I've said many times before, Andre could have been my cousin. He could have been my brother, and it just really hurt me to see something like this. So I really wanted to learn more about the story, more about, how could something like this happen, especially kind of being, coming from the mental health field and being a therapist and really kind of understanding the thought process or trying to anyway understand the thought process of the players in this story. And, again, how did we get here? So, again, this is just based on my opinion. This is my reaction to this whole thing. Everything is alleged unless it's not. And so let's get into it. So, Miss Terica Ellis. So, we know Terica is 39 years old. And y'all, for some reason, I felt like Terica was younger than this, or maybe I think I missed that. I think I missed that she's 39 years old. This lady the same age as me. Like, I think I remember telling y'all not too long ago, I was like, I'm getting ready to hit a milestone this year. Yes, I will be 40. But I just cannot believe somebody, a woman at 39 years old, and not saying that it cannot happen, right? But this is just another example of falling for the okey doke with men. Like, you let this man, Tim, basically manipulate you, persuade you to do some messed up ish that led to someone getting their life taken. Like, I don't get it. But anywho, on Tuesday, Terica was sentenced to 36 months, 3 years for M for hire, right? So she was hold on, let me get this right, child, because I ain't trying to get her little charges messed up. I mean, they are charges. This is legal, you know what I'm saying? Like it really don't for real matter. uh because this person was unalive. So like she going to prison for 3 years basically. Um let's see. So she I feel like Judge Ross was the one that presided over this whole thing, right? And so I feel like he was lenient on her. Like 3 years. Let's take a step back. This is a woman who met up with Tim. This is what was, brought out in court and things like that. Met up with Tim at a hotel, did that thing at the hotel. He basically sound like to me appeared to kind of hold her hostage for hours and hours and hours until he found Andre. Then persuaded her, manipulated her to go to the mall, sit at the mall for hours, buy stuff at the mall, then go meet up with Andre to lure the other one to go unalive him. Like, if she hadn't have done that, like, would I feel like, because I was thinking about this. If Terica was out of the picture, would this have still happened? Probably so. I mean, I think we could look at that both ways. Tell me what y'all think. Probably so, because if it wasn't that day, it would have been a different day. You see what I'm saying? But how do we know that if it was on a different day that he would have been unalive? Maybe he would have just been hurt. Maybe he would have gotten a chance to tell somebody, right? And or tell somebody else that he felt like he was in danger and somebody would have looked into it. You know what I'm saying? Like, things could have been completely different, right? But it could have been a different day. Who knows? Could have been a different day. But putting myself in Terica's shoes, as a therapist, we always have to put ourselves in somebody's shoes, right? And look at it from, kind of empathizing with them and things like that. I just don't know, based on what was said, if I would have allowed myself to be manipulated to that point. I mean, even if I was, like, I feel like I would have been asking questions like, okay, now wait a minute. And then based on the questions that I was asking, if I had the good sense that God gave me, I would have been like, this don't seem right. You know what I'm saying? So, anywho, so she was sentenced to 3 years. She could have gotten up to 20 years. So, you mean to tell me y'all went from 20 to 3? And she was the one that lured the people there to unalive him? So I said, wow, let me try to figure out how this happened, right? So, um, she spoke, she was, they said that, and this is based on news reports that I've seen. They said that she, when she was speaking, she was sobbing, crying and things like that. And she was remorseful. She asked for leniency before Judge Ross, sentenced her. And she quoted saying, "I'm so ashamed to be here in this place," while she was crying. I mean, yeah, you gonna say that now. You wasn't ashamed though to be in the hotel room with Tim. You wasn't ashamed to be in the strip club. You wasn't ashamed to go over there and uh you know play this game with Andre for somebody else. Like, I don't know. And then when she said that though, Andre's mom was there in the courtroom, and one of the news reports said that Miss Michelle Griggs yelled out, "But you took my baby." I'm like, Miss Michelle, you talking about you ashamed, but you took my baby though. Girl, sit down somewhere. 3 years? 3 years is nothing. I mean, it's something, don't get me wrong, because believe me, girl, I can't do no 3 years. I couldn't even do 2 hours. Please don't send me, girl. They'll have to call the ambulance. If they ever told me I had to go to jail, girl, mm-mm. I don't think I would live. I'd be like, Lord, please just take me now because I can't do it. I would not be able to do it. I would not be able to do it, not even 20 minutes. You hear me? That's just not the life for me. But 3 years, I mean, she's gonna be out in a jiffy. Like, and you lured somebody to get and their life was taken. Now, okay, on the flip side, let's look at it like this. I said, okay, Ashley, you got to look at it. I look at it from both sides. So, like, maybe she really did not know that they were going to do that to him. But then I think, but what did you think was going to happen though? Like, did you think they were just gonna rough him up? Did you think they were just trying to find where he was? And then it's like, oh, okay, yeah, we know where he is now. Thanks. Bye. See you later. Go back to Memphis. Like, what did you think was gonna happen? Those would be my questions. Like, if I had her on my couch, that's what I would be asking her. Like, what did you think was going to occur after you left that day? Maybe not what you thought was going to occur right then, but even a week after that, months after that. Like, what did you think was going to transpire after you did all of what you did that day? Not just meeting Andre there, but all the rest of the stuff that you did, right? So those would be some of my questions. But yeah, so Miss Michelle Griggs was like, yeah, you you took my baby. Like, you should be ashamed for playing the part that you played, right? So, Judge Ross sentenced Ellis to 3 years in prison on one count of conspiracy to commit M for hire, reduced from the 20 years recommended in sentencing guidelines. And remember, she pleaded guilty in June of 22 to conspiring with him, because she basically like helped him track him down. Like, that's why I was like, 3 years. Tell me, what do y'all think? What do y'all think? Um, and then didn't she get about 10,000 from Tim? Yeah. She got about 10,000 for her role in this whole thing. And she only got 3 years. Like, honestly, do y'all feel like she should be walking on the streets? Because this is my thing. This is my thing. And it's two sides to it, you know what I'm saying? But she was easily, even if she didn't know what was going to happen, she was easily manipulated into doing something like this. Girl, who's to say that she won't be manipulated again? Who's to say that somebody can't persuade her to do something with a little cash? Because if she was if her life was, and so I was reading a little bit more about it, and so Judge Ross, it said that he was kind of lenient because of the trauma that she has experienced in her life. And I think I read something about her being like forced into prostitution at a young age and things like that. That's all fine and good, Judge Ross. I mean, kudos to Judge Ross for kind of like thinking of those things. Like, this lady has already been traumatized, her circumstances, not her fault, all this stuff, right? But then you think about like kind of like the aftermath, right? Like, okay, after the 3 years, what is this lady going to be doing? Like, I don't feel like this is somebody who's going to do her 3 years and then go home and say, you know what, I'm gonna go to college, I'm gonna become a lawyer, I'm gonna go to college, I'm gonna become this, I'm gonna get my life. Like, I feel like this is the type of person that's going to be right back where she started. Because what skills does Terica have? I mean, maybe she do have some skills. Maybe I don't know. Is this the one where I feel like, is this a woman who had does she have like a cosmetology license or something, or she opened some kind of business or something like that? Like, how viable is her business? Like, is that something that she's going to be doing? But then now look at your reputation. Everybody, the world know that you was involved in something like this. So what kind of business you about to have, Terica? That's what I want to know. When she get out, what can she do to live you know, to be a good citizen, right? So when people feel like that, like, you know what, my name already in some mess. No matter if I did my time, it's not right. But people going to look at you based on what you did in your past. That's just what people do. That's just what people do, right? Human nature. That's just what people do. That's how they're going to judge her from her past, right? And so it's going to be a lot of stuff that she not going to be able to do. So then when you feel like you're back against the wall, right, and you don't really have any options, what's she going to do? Go right back to that strip club. Go right back to the streets. Go right back to some dudes that don't mean nothing for her, that don't mean well, right? And I feel like she could find herself back in the same situation. We already know based on this, I mean, based on the details that we have, I'm sure it's, of course, more details, right, that we don't know of. But based on what I heard, in my opinion, she ain't got good sense. She couldn't have no good sense. So that tells me that any dude from the street, right, that know how to run a little game, know how to manipulate, say what she want to hear, give her a little cash, she could find herself in a situation like this again. So you mean to tell me she gonna only get 3 years? She gonna be out in a jiffy. Now on the flip side, Terica got kids, right? So as a mother, I understand. Like at least she would be able to play a part in raising her kids and be there for her kids the rest of their lives and stuff like that, but is she gonna have a difficult road? She's gonna have a difficult time in society, and then she's also going to have a difficult time with herself, because how do you cope with yourself or manage the feelings that you have about what happened to somebody, someone losing their life? How do you manage your feelings about that every day? You know what I'm saying? Like that's difficult too, you know? And then, you know how people say, oh, karma and stuff like that. I mean, could be not, but sometimes things may not happen to you, but from what you did, things might happen with your kids. You know what I'm saying? Like things you feel like just not going right. It be the energy that you have created, right? That's gonna mess with your kids. Because now you gotta think, dang, especially if she got a son, dang, that could have been my son. That could have been my son. You know what I'm saying? She started to think things like that. So it's like, how does she go around every day managing the feelings that she has about her role in this whole situation? Um, Tell me what y'all think. So this says, Judge Ross said he also factored in dozens of letters the court received in support of Ellis, laying out a long history of Ellis being a victim of abuse and violence, including being forced into prostitution at a young age. Wow, so people sent in letters to support her. And probably that is too because, if she has children, you know what I'm saying? But then also I mean, she has family. So no family member wants to see their loved one in prison, you know what I'm saying? Especially if you feel like they didn't really understand or know what was really happening during this whole thing. Like it's almost like Terica wasn't able to put two and two together. And I mean, I don't know, maybe if I try to put myself in people's shoes. Like maybe if I was in the situation, I probably wouldn't have thought he was gonna unalive him either or have somebody unalive him. But I sure would have been like, what you trying to do? Maybe I'm too nosy. I'll be like, now who? You calling who? And why I gotta get a phone? I already got a phone. They know who to pick. You know what I'm saying? That's why I'm like, when she get out, like the people that she's gonna be around, who she surrounds herself with, being in the strip club and stuff like that, like she got to be more mindful. She got to be on her P's and Q's. She got to be on her toes. She got to be asking these dudes questions like, we going where? Why I'm waiting so long? Why what? I don't know where the dude is. I mean I know of him, but I don't know where he be at. Like, come on now. So people sent in dozens of letters to support her. Wow. Right? And then too, okay, so then let me put my therapist hat on, y'all. She is a victim of abuse and violence, right? So sometimes in those situations, people are molded into this. It's easy for them to be manipulated. When there's some abuse, there's some violence. Maybe she was afraid. Maybe she feared for her own life. Like, if I don't do this, maybe something's gonna happen to me. Um, and let's see. The sentence matched the prosecutor's recommendation, but went against requests from three of Montgomery's family members who spoke in favor of the max. And they were saying, quote, if she hadn't done her part, there's a possibility Andre would be with us now. I mean, I feel that. That's 3 years, Victoria. 3 years. And I was really surprised at that. Like, that, I mean, she gonna be out in a jiffy. Like, soon as she go to sleep and close her eyes, she finna be out of there. And then what? Like, I didn't even see anything about like, is she gonna be on like probation or something like that? Or like, I don't know how that all works, but after 3 years, like, she gonna be walking around? Like, I don't know about that. um let's see. And it says Andre's brother Darren, he was arguing that Terica only saw his brother as a dollar sign before she got caught. Because again, she took that 10, didn't she? She took that 10,000 from Tim. So that's why I'm saying, like, on one end you said, oh well, she didn't know, she putting her in that victim type of role, right? Where, oh, she don't know, she been taken advantage of before, so she don't really know. But she knew to take that 10. She knew to take that 10,000. She ain't say no to that. She didn't say no to that. So it's like, do she got good sense or not? You know what I'm saying? Like, it's like, that's why I'm questioning it too. Like, if you really unsure, you have been manipulated before, you fear for your sake, like, you wouldn't have done any of it. You would have been like, well, what's the 10,000 for? Or you may have taken it, but maybe you would have went to the police. You know what I'm saying? I mean, I don't know. Um, so yeah, so this is surprising to me. But also, again, when I put my therapist hat on, this is what I would want to some of the things I would want to ask Terica is, again, what did you think was going to happen on that day or thereafter, especially after she took the money, right? But there is a technique that we use in therapy called the empty chair technique. And most of the time, it is used when someone has passed away, someone is dealing with grief or trying to process grief. But it can be used for many, different scenarios and things like that. Just depends on the therapist and how they use it and whatever the situation or circumstance is for the client. But you kind of let them know, the gist of it is that if this person was in front of you, right, sitting next to you, sitting in front of you, what would you say to them? Right? What would you say to them? I want to know what Terica would say to Tim at this moment. What would she say to Tim? I really wonder that. I mean, would she be saying to Tim, why did you put me in this situation? And this is without anybody else looking, right? This is like without the courts looking, without the lawyers listening and all this stuff. I wonder what she would say to him. Like, was she going there and be like, you didn't got me caught up in some, like, or would she say something like, why didn't you tell me this is what you was trying to do? Or, why you get me caught up in this mess? I just really wonder what she would say to Tim, right? And then also, what would she say? to Andre, what would she say to Andre if he was here? What would she say to Andre if she did all of that and he would have made it through all of that? What would she have to say to him? Because wasn't they messing around at some point? Like, I feel like Terica is probably the type that she'll just avoid the situation or act like it never happened or like go on with her life or whatever. Just, you know what I'm saying? Like, oh, well, like this is what it is. In the with the life we live or whatever, you know what I'm saying? But then most importantly, what I would want to know is what would Terica tell herself on the day that all of this happened? If she could be following herself throughout that day, her herself that has the good sense that God gave her, what would she be telling herself while she getting in the car with Tim? While Tim is calling her saying, "Hey, meet me at the Chase." While he telling her, "Oh, go to Walgreens and get the track phone or whatever kind of phone it was. Wait there for." What would she be telling herself? Will she be telling herself, yeah, oh, Terica, yeah, he gonna give you 10. You know what you could do with that 10? It sounds like to me, this is what, like, if it was her herself following her around or kind of talking to her, right? Right? Or if she was having some, and this is all made up. I'm making this up as I go along, y'all. Or if she was having command auditory hallucinations, the voices are telling her that's just a long way of saying somebody, hearing voices, right? The voice is telling her, "Oh yeah, Terica, go ahead. You gonna get that 10. You gonna get that 10,000. What you gonna do with that 10,000? Oh, girl, you gonna go to LA. You and your mama already been talking about going to LA. Y'all gonna get all the shirts and stuff for y'all business. Y'all gonna set up the business good. You can get you a little studio space with that. Just go ahead and do what he said. All you gotta do is wait right here. All you gotta do is find Andre for him, right?" That's what the voice had to been telling her, but stayed right there, right? But if she has the good sense, right, that God gave her, I wonder if she would be telling herself, Terica, you know you ain't supposed to be here. What are you doing here, right? Why are you helping Tim? What has Tim really done for you? But gave you a little money that you can't make in the strip club? Because don't the strippers be making a lot of money? What you got to wait on Tim to fly from LA for? You got your own thing going on, right? But again, when you look at it from the victim's perspective, you know what I'm saying? If you put her in that type of role, then you can understand how she kind of got to the point where she is now, right? From being in any abusive situation, violent situations. Like, this is a normal occurrence for her. Like, this is how things go, right? So I mean, it probably is that Terica probably never thought that they would do anything like that. But again, I just would want to know from her, but what did you think was going to happen? You know, and a lot of times too, this is just talk, because a lot of times we can say what we wouldn't do, right? How we would respond, how we would act, what we would say. And child, when you in the position, when you in it, you don't know what you're gonna say. You might be thinking like, dang, something ain't right. Like, dang, why he fly all the way up here looking for this dude? Like, but then it's like somebody would do something and you will overlook it. Or you may have plans to address it later, but then based on this situation, later never comes. You know what I'm saying? Or You might mention a little bit of here and there or whatever to your friend or something like that, but you never know really what you will do if you're in a situation, especially if you're a person with your back against the wall and you don't have a lot of funds, you got kids to take care of, right? You already in the streets, you basically hustling, trying to strip, make money, stuff like that, and then somebody offer you 10,000, yeah, you gonna take it. I don't care what nobody say. You gonna take it. But to me, that's hood mentality. That's hood mentality, right? I always feel like if this person could do it, you could do it. Like I just feel like there is no excuse to doing what you want to do or to be quote unquote successful, whatever that means to you, right? It's almost like you are in your own way. Now, what you're doing is not working if you want to get, out of whatever is happening, out of your situation, out of the hood, out of, wherever you work. It could be any situation, right? It's only you that's in your way, right? What you're doing right now is not working. So what are you going to do for it to look different and to be consistent with that? As long as you do that, and again, it may not happen tomorrow. It might be in the next 2 years. Hell, it might be in the next 20 years, but you are working towards something. But I just feel like after 3 years, 36 months, Terica gonna be right back at it. She gonna be right back at it. Because what else does she know? What else does Terica know? And maybe she was trying to get the 10 so she could open a business or something like that. And I mean, shoot, this is just my opinion. Child, I could be totally wrong. Sarah could come out in them 3 years, baby. She uh, ran into a little dope. Maybe she gonna do a book. Who knows, child? And she gonna get a little dope. And then she gonna open up a little business, a little online business, with a little clothing shop, a hair shop, anything like that, and be making bukus of money, bukus of money. But in my mind, it all ain't gonna matter if she do, because you still got something like this looming over your head. You still know that you played a role in someone having their life taken. So for real, you will never be quote unquote successful. You will never in the way of mentally, right? You are always going to struggle with having peace of mind. You always going to struggle with having peace because I mean, who knows? Terica might have flashbacks. Terica might have nightmares of that day. Terica may have be thinking about always what she could have did, what she should have did, what she could have asked, what she didn't ask. She could be thinking about all of that. And when you continue to think about the past, that triggers depression. When you live in the past, you are triggering depression. The shoulda, coulda, wouldas. And I'm sure that she has asked herself those questions. I'm sure that she replays it over and over and over and over. And she already said she ashamed to be here. She ashamed to be in that place. And what does she mean by that? What is that place? Is that place court? Is that place prison? Is that place the state of mind that she's in? Is that place where she was on that day? It could be all of them, for real. She's ashamed, right? So her thinking about what happened that day is placing her thoughts in the past, and that's going to trigger depression. But then on the flip side, she also most likely, and this is just my opinion, thinking about the future, right? What is my life going to look like when I get out in 3 years? Right? What are my kids going to think about me? What do my kids think about what role I played? What do my kids even know about what happened? Right? Right? My friends, my family, it's almost like, okay, they support me. I got dozens of letters people sending in, but What happens when everything kind of fades to black? Are they still going to be there for me? Are they going to give me a job when I need it to feed my kids? Right? Are they going to help me in certain situations that I might need help with financially because I've been in prison for 3 years? Right? Who's going to allow me to live with them until I get on my feet? These are all valid questions. These are all valid questions. But then when she live in the future, thinking about the future all the time, what does that trigger? Anxiety. People have anxiety about things that have not even happened yet. Anxiety is a result of creating problems that you don't even have. Y'all, I talk to people every day and they'll say stuff like, and it's I can only laugh because I'm a therapist, and so I hear this stuff every day, and I'm like, here, it's like almost like here we go again. Like, why do people in general create problems for themselves? I mean, it could be as simple as, you know what? I can already see I can already see that I'm gonna have to sell my house. And so I'm asking the clients, like, okay, and this is just an example, y'all, but I'll ask them, okay, well, what has happened to make you think that that's what you're getting ready to have to do tomorrow? Nothing. So why are you creating problems for yourself? That's only going to create more stress and more anxiety. Like, you living in the future, you thinking about things that haven't even happened yet. You don't even have any evidence of it, that it is going to happen. So it's almost like, instead of worrying about, if you're gonna worry about it when it happened. Don't worry about it right now because it's not even happening. So, but Terica probably thinking about, what the heck am I gonna do when I get out of here? She gonna have to go back to stripping. Y'all, what other job she about to get? What other job is Terica about to get? Who about to hire Terica? Not near nobody. Nobody, unless she get maybe like a warehouse job or something like that that don't credit, they got good felonies and stuff like that, or uh the strip club. Other than that, where's Erica finna work? Girl, I wouldn't let Terica. Because I'd be like, you know what? Mm-mm. She she fought she fought for the okey doke. No, no, no. She can't work for this business. Girl, ain't no telling who's her could she'll let somebody talk to her and doing something she ain't supposed to be doing. Nope. Mm-mm, sorry. I mean, that's just the way the world works. It's just the way the world works. And you know what? Let me stop. Let me stop. Because everybody everybody does deserve a second chance. They do. Because okay, you put yourself in her shoes, you would want a second chance too. You know what I'm saying? Especially if you have kids to feed and stuff like that. But it's going to be very difficult for her to get on her feet unless maybe she knows somebody, child, because it ain't what you know, is who you know. So maybe she knows somebody that's going to give her a job already. Maybe she's able to set herself up, her family able to set her up, good or whatever, or help or take care of her and stuff like that, but this is just a sad situation, y'all. It really, really is. So I just wanted to come and give my opinion about that and kind of react to it a little bit. I didn't find any additional information, but let me know on the replay, if you're watching the replay, or if you want to leave a comment or in the chat, say something about it. What do you all think? Like, do you feel like 3 years was long enough? Do you feel like 3 years is the right amount of time? You feel like because Terica really didn't know what she was doing, like, you can't really fault her. Like, the one that's really at fault is Tim because he put all this together. Like, what y'all think? How y'all feel about it? Make sure y'all let me know. I'm gonna get up out of here. Thank you all for listening. And I got some stuff in store for y'all. I hope you all noticed that I change my banner and things like that. So I got some ideas coming. I just gotta I am going to get around to doing them. So I got some fun stuff coming for you all that I have planned. But thank you so much for listening. I appreciate you all. If you haven't smashed the like button, go ahead and do that. And make sure you subscribe to my channel. I have more in store. So have a great night, and I will see you all next time. Bye.